Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another video. Today we're gonna get started on Mafex, the Batman. And again, my voice is not back yet, but I'm trying to film in the free time that I have. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do it at all. So let's get to it. Let's get started. Now, I gotta say, the proportions on this guy kind of weird me out, but not even like in a bad way. I'm just like, functionality wise, it feels like one of those things that shouldn't work, but it's working for me. It really is. And this guy literally functions like so weird that it works. I'll show you as I pose this guy up. But one of the things I want to talk about is this guy's cape is phenomenal. And I really wish like capes were always this good. So I do want to point out that I absolutely adore this cape. Like, it holds weight, it holds form. I don't have to do anything. It works beautifully. If you are not a cape guy or you don't like wired capes, this may not be for you, but this cape is beautiful, right? I love when capes like look really good, right? One of the things I want to talk about is the floaty upper torso. Again, it's one of those things that shouldn't work, and it does not look good for everyone, but it's like this for a reason. And then even with Batman, like, he always looked like he's kind of hunched over. That's because of the cape and the protection of the neck design. But again, it's accurate to the movie and it works. Like, the super pale skin doesn't really work for me. I kind of like it when it's a little matte. It's a little shiny in photos, but it is accurate. I'm not saying it does. It is accurate. And I love that the cape can come forward and you can have a beautiful flow out, right? And then we have this beautiful arm pull out method, which in functionality wise, this is god awful. This is called a ridiculous flaw like design, but you don't have to pull it out that far. It's meant so that you can kind of do what you need to do for photos. As you can see, you can replicate your arm forwards because no one's going to see that from above. So it's one of those things where if you wanted to do your Batman swinging from something, you could. The only thing that would be cooler than this was to add the flight suit. But as you can see, that torso, that big old gap, you can actually see the peg there, right? But it does work for functionality. We have a beautiful double joint, right? We can float around here with our upper torso as well as move with our lower torso. Now, the lower torso is really, really tight, and in case you don't want it to move the belt, that's not going to work for you. And then we have the floaty legs. It looks crazy because look how it just rotates out. You almost feel like you're gonna break it, but it's crazy because again, this works if you are doing things from the right angle. Like I said, floaty torso. But if you are doing things from the right angles, which I'm going to try to attempt to show you on camera, right? Look at this. Like, this guy looks beautiful like this. He's supposed to be vengeance in the night, whereas from this angle, this does not look really good, but from this angle, it does. So it's one of those things where photography wise, you can kind of finagle it, but if you are a person who really wants your Batman to look good and function good, you're only going to get one of those two here, and that's going to be the function good part, right? Like I said, functions beautifully. How it's gonna look is gonna be crazy. This is similar to, like, you know what I'm gonna call this? This is like smooth joint Revolve Tech, because he moves in really funky and weird ways because he doesn't have a drop down, right? But the diaphragm joint allows for all of that movement like a Revo. Like, we could bunch in our cape, we can make it look really cool, get him down into a beautiful fight stance, and boom, look at this. Now we look like a Frank Miller version of a modern Batman. So it's a tricky thing. Like, it works for me because I love articulation, but it may not be for everyone. It really not. And we have a very tight ankle pivot. It's not gonna move a lot, so you gotta be very wary of that one there. But again, I want to say I'm conflicted, but I'm not, because I'm getting what I want: articulation. And god damn, if I say this thing look good. But again, that's my bias showing. So now with that being said, let's talk about our accessories. I'm gonna try to grab some of my tea, so let's take a quick break. All right, welcome back. So first things first, let's talk about our other head sculpts. So you will get a beautiful grit teeth sculpt. I think this is probably the weaker of the sculpts, right? With our grit teeth one, looking a little bit odd, like out of place, right? Then we will have our unmasked eyes dead sculpt. This looks exactly like Patterson. I love this. Or in this case, Battison, right? Robert Battison. I really think this one is dead on. This looks fantastic. Then we have our civilian sculpt. This one is a little weaker, but still does look like him. But I do love that other sculpt very, very much. Right? We have an empty helmet, so we can question our vengeance when we hold it in our hands. You will get an alternative chest plate, which empties out our large batarang, which does come with the large batarang. If it fits in there, let's see. Nope, turns into a giant boomer bat. As you can see, it folds and connects to a giant boomer bat. Oh wait, am I holding it the wrong way? Oh wait, I'm holding it the wrong way. Nope, no I'm not. I'm just tripping. So yeah, you have these two, right? And this is, you can take that part out because it pegs in. You will get a grapple gun. Mine's a little warped. It was warped in package. I'm going to see if I can heat that up and fix that. And then you will get a sidearm holster for when you want to show it in its holster. Let's see if, there we go. For that, there is just a peg here, which you can alternate and swap out. Same with our chest plate up here. We wiggle that out for you so you can see it. See? But I'm going to pop that back in. I'm going to try to pose you back up. Make you look good, right? You can pose, bro. You can pose. I may have done too much, though. So we'll let you fall for a second so we don't lose concentration. You will get alternative gauntlets. And these alternative gauntlets are for when you use certain hands to attach these parts for your other grapple gun wires. There'll be hands that complement that to hold them here, right? So instead of it all being one piece, you get the empty gauntlets to wrap in hands. And speaking of hands, you will get a ton of them. So here we are, some open action hands, right? We have our closed knuckle-like fist for holding items. We have that thumb out to show that these hands can hold items, or batarangs in this case. Let's actually try to test that. Yep, these are our batarang hands. Oop, but I dropped it, so don't mind me. These are item holding hands. Let's get some focus on it. There we go. We have our item holding hands, thumbs out, items open, and that is because this is going to be when you want to hold your flare as well, because you will get a flare. I may have had that upside down. You get these cool open action hands. These are going to be your grapple hands. Let's see if we can find that part again. There we go. I don't remember how it went upside down. Well, oh, there we go. There we go. So yeah, and then it goes into the glove. So you have it like this. You're going to get your open martial arts hands. Well, that's what I'm going to call them at least. These are going to look cool. You will get some more item holding hand. Oh, actually, this one is the flare hand. Oop, look, see, I had that backwards. So the other one is item holding hand, and these ones are flare hands. And the reason why is because you'll see they stop here around the ring finger for indentation. So sorry about that, y'all. Last but not least, you'll get trigger hands, and this is going to be for holding your grapple gun. And that about rounds out our accessories. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to go find some figures so that we can compare this to. And I will tell you, I don't have a lot of DC figures anymore. But yeah, we're going to try to do it anyway. So I'll see you guys in a sec. Alright guys, now it's time for the size comparison. First thing I want to do is compare it to my SHF Batman, which does indeed have Muff Toys upgrade parts. So, if it looks a little different, you'll know that he has Muff Toys cape and the new head sculpt from them. So, when we compare the two, as you can see, the Mafex is bigger. The cape is a little bit more flat, as in That's an upgrade cape, but this cape is a little bit more shiny. There's a little bit more matte. This flesh looks a little bit more matted out. Like I said, I really like the Muff Toy sculpt. It really does work for me here. As you can see the torso break here, but here it is very prominent. And that's probably my biggest nitpick, is about how the torso and legs work. But like I said, it's one of those weird things that really works in terms of how it makes it function, but aesthetically, it's not going to work for some people. Now, let's take this guy away. Here, I'm going to compare the Batfleck, the Mafex here, right? Because, you know, why not compare two DC Batmans from two different universes? It's a Bat Gory. Here we are with the Mafex Hush Bat, showing you just how different these designs are from each other. As we have a stylized Jim Lee way versus a movie design that redesigns the Matt Reeves way, right? Next up, we have an SHF Batfleck that has a modified torso and was matted out so he wouldn't be shiny. And he's still smaller than the Mafex, right? Next up, we're going to compare some other stuff. So here is a G.I. Joe Classified Buzzer. And the Classified's a big boy, right? Then we have the Valaverse rollout. And as you can see here, it's crazy because he really does stack up well with domestic toys, which is a good thing in case you want that to work. Next up, we have a Fouche Toys Sakit. Right? Then we have an SH Figuarts Kamen Rider, aka Shin Kamen Rider. And these are small boys compared to the Batman. Next up, we're going to do a Marvel Legends Symbiote Suit Spider-Man. And a Valak from Mythic Legions, as I bring him over from the same review I did for Morbius. And as you can see, Valak is obviously a big boy, but Spider-Man scales out pretty well with him. This is one of those things where I think the culmination of the design really works here, like really, really well. And it works itself in. Oh, because I don't have anybody else here for Mezco, here is Mezco Ichigo, showing you how he stacks up well with him. Shout out to you, Ichigo. I miss you, boy. Right? So, again, it is a fantastic time to be a comic book movie fan or a movie fan or whatever it is, because at this point, it seems like we're getting toys of just about everything. And that's not really a bad thing, now is it? No. In this case, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found it informative. And if you didn't, hey, I tried, right? So as always, be good, do good, drink your water, guys. Later.